Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is April 5th, 2022. This is episode 495, I believe. Okay, today I'm just going to talk about WonderCon a little bit. Took place last weekend in Anaheim. It was the 2022 version, and we have Wonder Woman as the official cover for the program here. Just want to mention that this was probably, I'm almost positive this was the same cover they were going to use back in 2020. I had tickets, I had my air flight, I had a car, I had a hotel room all booked for the weekend, and then 2 weeks before they did the massive shutdown that continued for about 2 years. So this is the first time I think it's been back. I think they might have had a virtual con perhaps last year. I don't recall. Not really into those too much, as the people seem to be more like deer in the headlights if they show up there on the Zoom calls. But I want to say I had a very nice time. I saw a lot of things. I didn't go on Friday. I went Saturday, Sunday. I couldn't get a ride out there on Friday. I still don't have my own car. But had a lot of fun. Saw some people that I haven't seen in a while that I know. Saw some people that I missed some people, I should say, that I usually see there. And there were some major groups missing. So, for instance, there was no DC booth. There was no Marvel booth. I don't think Image was there. I don't recall them being there. So right off the bat, like Boom Studios, I don't remember them being there. They could have been. The place is pretty big. It's nothing like San Diego's Comic-Con, which owns WonderCon, but this is taking place at the Anaheim Convention Center right across the street from Disneyland. So this is my favorite con that I've ever been to. I have not been to Comic-Con in San Diego. Been threatened to go, but I've just never made it there. But this one I've always enjoyed. It's not too big, but it is big enough that I'm captivated by the panels that they have. There's plenty of cosplay players if you're into that type of thing. It's okay for a break to go out and watch them out in the square there out in front of the building. But otherwise, I'm pretty much going to panel to panel to panel, and then checking out people on the floor and going to Artist Alley, talking to people I know, and some of the small press out places as well. So there was a few people that I really was hoping to see that weren't there. Maybe next time. I think the crowd itself was very large. It was bigger than I expected. The energy wasn't there like in the past. And as you know, everybody had to wear a mask inside. And I think that's kind of stifling on top of that. Now, I think they're going to lift that mask mandate pretty soon in the next couple weeks. Maybe they're at the end of this month. So things will be more or less back to normal, and next year's con should be better. But it was pretty good. I saw some things that I wasn't expecting. I want to say, one of the big surprises, I got to see the guy that was writing Shang-Chi, not the movie, but the comic. He did Brothers and Sisters and Shang-Chi versus the Marvel Universe. Those were the two arcs from last year. And he was really interesting. And I'm trying to think, I think his name is Jean Ruan Yang. And he's involved with a lot of projects, just like a wonderful personality. I went up and talked to him a little bit afterwards. I really had a nice time talking to him. And let's see, there were two people I recognized that I've given bad reviews to, and I'm sure they probably haven't watched my channel, because the number of views I get is between like 6 and 100 usually on a video. It somewhere falls between there, and if they're in more of an obscure book, it's more closer to the 6 number than the 100 number. But it was a little uncomfortable seeing that, because I actually started my channel just after the shutdown of all the cons, so I haven't been going. So, and I doubt if they even would know who I am, but still was a little eerie, thinking, I wonder if they'll know who I am. But it wasn't to be. And both of those reviews actually took place, I think, in the last week or two. So we have that going for you. We also saw a good or I should say, a very interesting panel with Brian Haberlin talking about how to make your own commercials off your own comics using a poser software and then animating it through your phone, through your own facial recognition actions. And that was a pretty amazing thing to do, as far as being able to make something like that in your own home. Yeah, it was good. There was some very interesting people that spoke. I know Kevin Smith was there on Friday, and I think he was the big name draw. I did not see him, and I didn't see him in the other 2 days that I was there. But I'm not a big Kevin Smith fan anyway, so I didn't miss that. Let's take a quick look through the program, and then I'll show you some of the things that I bought. I'm not going to go through the whole program, but welcome back to WonderCon. Yeah, that's what you can kind of expect. It actually gets a lot more crowded than that out in the pavilion areas. I'm not sure where that is exactly. There's usually a big fountain area, and you can see some of the guests that were here. And it wasn't as star-studded as it had been in the past. There's Jean Luen Yang. Very interesting. He was a former teacher, and now he's doing this full-time as your Kevin Smith. I don't know if you recognize any of these other people off the top of your hand. And there's the little blurb here about everybody. Feel free to pause it. I don't know if you can really read it, but if you want to read it, you can. And this is just the celebrities. Now, it takes up the whole floor of the Anaheim Convention Center, which is pretty big, but some of the parts are for registration and badge pickup and things like that. I missed Michael A. Stackpole. I wanted to see him, but got there kind of late on a couple of these things. And the author of White Ash was there, and I missed him. We got there too late on Sunday. He spoke at 10. I got there at 11. Unfortunately, missed that one. So there you have it. Now, like I said, I think they were going to use this emblem, the same symbol, the same Wonder Woman symbol, for 2020, but they just pushed it back 2 years. So there's the games area. It was very big, very vibrant. Exclusive pins. I don't know if you can see all this stuff or not, but I'm just going to go through it really quickly. Actually, the program's a little smaller than it has been in the past. They probably had a little trouble getting sponsors for it. There's such a short notice, maybe, putting this whole thing together. There was no security, but you had to prove you had been vaccinated or had a negative test within the last 72 hours in order to get the wristband that would allow you to go in and get your badge. Robert A. Helen, Blood Drive. It's one of my favorite authors. And you can just, let's see if there's anything else. This is just kind of some of the exhibitors are there. I should be wearing my reading glasses, and I'm not, so I can't really read this. But that's what we got. And of course, the schedules for those Fridays, those Saturdays. I'll go back to Fridays again because I didn't keep it there very long and frame it. If you wanted to zoom in or pause it and see it. Saturday. And Sunday, which was a short day as well, like Friday. Some of the panels went till I believe 10. The floor itself closed at 6. And they have theaters that are showing anime. They have special features, theaters showing new TV shows, things like that. So there's a lot going on there if you're getting burned out on the panels, or just tired of walking the floor, or just tired of looking at the cosplayers. But it's my friend John right there. They use the same picture every year, so that's kind of funny. Anyway, that's the program pretty much. I don't know if there's anything else worth going through on that. Let's go quickly through. I just want to show you some things that I bought there. This is actually a short story. I don't think I'll do a review on it, but it was kind of interesting. She's a local artist. I live in California now, so it wasn't a big deal to get here this year. but she writes short stories. She lives in Long Beach, which is not too far away. And she had books that were thicker and thicker, so I decided to start with this one and see what it was like. It's just a short story. It's supposed to be kind of a horror, spooky story, so we'll find out. Then my good friend Johnny Parker has his JP has his broken the trade out now, and I think it's 3 issues, but it's pretty thick for a 3-issue book. I don't know if you can really see that. So it seems thicker than a Marvel trade. And I haven't read this. This was given to me, but these people were there. Carmina Beginnings is the name of this, and it's from Diwata Comics. So I'll be doing a review of this. The art in it looks pretty good. So we'll check that out. I'll let you know what you think of that. But my biggest scoop of the day, let's see if I can grab this without falling over. I did a little research earlier, or last year, I should say, and I was able to locate the first comic that I ever bought. Well, it's not this one, but it's the same issue run. This is the issue. It isn't this particular comic book, though. That one was destroyed. I read it so many times it just fell apart. This is Action Comics 363, and this is an arc 364, and finally with 365. Now, the reason that this was so gripping, and I remembered it so well, even though I had to research it to figure out when it actually came out, 12 cents. I paid 20 for all 3, so 36 cents is now 20 bucks. And this, I just want to say, these 2 covers right here are Neil Adams drew those. So that had to be kind of early of him going over to DC at the time. So some good poses there. This one, not so much pose, but it's more kind of a perspective look. But I just want to mention that I was used to watching Superman in the black and white serials. They were all in syndication at that time. So when this comic came out, I was convinced Superman was going to die. This is way before Doomsday. It had to do with some kind of leprosy powder that was infused with kryptonite that Lex Luthor had invented, and he'd given it to Superman, and he was getting worse and worse. It seemed they've got him contained because they're scared that this is going to be a super virus. So it's even fitting with these times, really. But it's kind of funny because I paid $10 for that and $5 for the other 2, and the one I paid $10 for is in the worst shape. But I guess maybe it's worth more just because of the pose. It's got a cool looking pose, Neil Adams. This one's more just him sitting there. Anyway, that was my trip to WonderCon. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else there that I saw that I was really happy or surprised to see. Off the top of my head, like I said, it was pretty. The Aspen crew was there. That was one group that I remember being there. But I was hoping to see Terry Moore and Richard Starkings, and a few other people that I know. I'm drawing a blank right now, but they were nowhere to be found. And I wanted to see Charles Stickney. He wrote White Ash, and I just missed him. Unfortunately, I could not track him down either. So there you go, WonderCon. Thanks for stopping by and watching this little bit about WonderCon 2022. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, please subscribe if you haven't. Please like. Please leave comments if you wish. And we'll see you next time at the Temple of Tomes. This is Indie Comics Jones. Boy, it's getting hot outside. I think the rest of the week is going to be in the mid-80s to 90s out here. So I hope you guys are surviving your weathers too, because it's just going to get warm already in April. I bid you adieu.